So we're just waiting on a fifth member. There he is, Dr. Dog. Coming from the clinic, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they said he had to work late. So
We have a full comp here, and I think we're getting ready to go. So anything you're expecting or maybe going to see here, Verticus?
well, I would like to see Lucio in action. I think that would be fun. Just came out yesterday, right? It's Wednesday.
That
Just
is
lose
correct.
track of the day.
Yeah, from the Lucio play, he's actually a really solid healer. I expected him when I was watching him being played earlier and his abilities that he would be, a double support. He'd run with like Tass or he'd run with Kerosene or something like that, a not full healer. But he's been solo healing pretty decently, and his combination of heals plus speed is pretty big deal. And your team can really get some engages going that way.
And it looks like we're ready to get into the game. So here's the draft coming up. Uh, Territorial Pissing has the first ban here on the red team, which is actually shown incorrectly on my cheer league stream. I guess I probably should have swapped their teams. Oh well. Guess it's a little
Yeah,
late for that now.
well, they got it.
So Pleb Horse Calvary is going to be the blue team, even though it shows red up there on the little scoreboard, and Territorial Pissing will be the red team.
And this is a best of one, so it'll be one and done for whoever wins this game.
And they're saying our audio is quiet, so let me just turn that up a bit. Hopefully it's a little better now.
Yeah, the delay makes it a little hard for us to check. First ban Dahaka, which is expected if you don't have someone who plays Dahaka. Dahaka is really solid in that top lane and being able to rotate down quickly into the brush. Just a strong hero right now with his sustain and everything going on. So if you can't play him or you don't want to risk not having to pick him, then you ban him. So that's looking like what Pleb or Territorial Pissing did there.
Yep, and what kind of a ban are you looking to come out of Pleb Horse here?
I would expect the rag ban. A lot of people just don't want to deal with rag, and there's the
And
rag.
there's the rag.
Yeah, Rag is just a pain on this map. His sustain is just so solid, and the ability to just swing into a fight, Sulfurous Smash, get a three-man stun, and just turn a tide is just way too powerful. So I think getting rid of him is just a solid move. A
Yep.
lot of teams like Artanis is normally a really solid first pick on this map. Just the ability to silence or blind an entire team, and he just got really good rotations with swaps. So we'll see if they go with an Artanis pick here. Or we might see one of those new heroes pop out.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Lucio picked up, but they're gonna go with Tassadar after his rework 2 patches ago, I guess at this point. He's become a really good support. I would expect to see a second support with him. A lot of times you see him used in more of a damagey support kind of role after his rework.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have been taking tasks with Lucio, so that might be what they're trying to go for, is just set up that Lucio pick. But we will see what happens. This leaves a lot of good choices for Pleb right here. They could take Artanis and get that taken out of the way, and maybe a really solid solo laner to go top, or another strong engager, mage of some sort that they're strong with. Malf is still a really strong pick too in these fights, so just got to be careful of that.
Yeah, I haven't played with enough Lucio to see how much he actually stacks up against Malfurion, but Malf seems to be the overall best support, solo support at this point in the meta.
Yeah, I completely agree. The AoE silence, the roots, just a combo with so much other stuff makes him so strong. And then you see the Falstead pickup, which on this map being able to be you don't even have to be in top lane with Falstead. You can be in like rotating with mid bottom lane, and the fly top, that threat to fly top and just kill whoever's up there is just so powerful that Falstead is such a great pick.
Yeah, and even late game, if he plans to go epic mount, just the ability to fly everywhere over the map, capture all the points, and secure the dragon becomes a real threat.
Agreed.
And the variant pickup, we've been seeing quite a bit more variant, especially after HGC this past weekend.
Yeah, they also, if you remember, they did one little swap on Varian. They switched his 13 and 16 talents around. So now his banners are on 16, and on 13 he gets his shield breaker, his reduced healing, or his supercharge, or his, percentage damage charge. So that could be a difference.
Yep, Juggernaut. They make him
exactly.
Make it so he can be picked more as a counter to certain heroes, which I don't really see that here, other than stopping Pleb Horse from being able to pick up the variant to counter Tassidar's shield with that shield breaker.
Yeah, I agree. Brightwing ban would be really interesting. I don't think, unless they're trying to limit the globals that Territorial Pissing's taking, it just doesn't seem like a ban that needs to happen. Like, I wouldn't want to go Brightwing with Tassadar and Varian and Tychus, but maybe they know something about Territorial Pissing that we don't, and there's someone on there that's just mains Brightwing they need to get rid of.
Yeah, that could be. I agree with your analysis on that Brightwing ban, though. I wouldn't see him as much of a threat unless they're planning on going one of those really divey heroes that Brightwing can shut down.
Yeah, and that could be it. It's something they're setting up for something that Emerald Wind or a Polymorph could stop. So that might be what's going on. Tychus is also just a really strong pickup that Territorial Pissing got. Really good DPS, just super annoying, really good at shredding tanks, really good at staying in combat. At 13, he gets that heal and makes him super effective at focusing and staying down targets, especially if Variant taunts somebody.
And with those Tassadar shields and leeching plasma as well, now that it's built into the base shield.
Completely agree.
And the ETC ban, which I completely agree with. I think ETC is a very strong tank at this point, and Pleb Horse is looking to pick up one of those type of tanks.
Yeah, and if it looks like if I was Territorial Pissing, which I'm guessing they're thinking is with a Brightwing ban, that Pleb Horse might be going for a little more global comp. So if they get rid of that ETC, it takes away a possible global they could have. So now they're just stuck with that Falstead global, which could help out Territorial Pissing, so there's not that giant rotation that'll happen later on.
So what are you looking for Pleb Horse to be picking up here?
They're going to obviously need a tank. That's thing, but I think the tank they would probably want to go, there's not a whole lot of super strong tanks. Like Murden is probably your best tank at this point. You do see some people going solo Diablo, a Territorial Artanis, which Artanis was still out there, and I mentioned he should have been picked up earlier. So this is definitely a good pick, and Artanis counters Tychus pretty decently with the suppression pulse. The only issue is Varian's a really strong hero to play against Artanis if you can time your charges with those stuns correctly when he tries to go in for those swaps.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Artanis did not get banned out in that second round of bans. Usually you see him pretty highly prioritized, either banned in the first round or picked up in the first before that second ban.
Yeah, I agree. So the big thing we're looking right now is they're solo tanking Varian, which isn't, you can solo tank Varian, and you have solo task heals. Right now, Pleb Horse doesn't have a lot of damage. You have Falstead, who I'm guessing is going to go auto attack build to do the best damage he can. But if you have one more healer, a solid like Lucio or something, I don't think Pleb Horse is going to do enough damage unless they get a really strong mage in here to be able to hurt or knock down Territorial Pissing's team comp.
And they end up going with a double warrior, double support. For Territorial Pissing. That actually limits their damage a little bit to mainly Tychus.
Yes.
You could see Varian go for a different build other than Taunt now, getting that Sonya in here, though.
Possibly. I do think Varian's still going to go Taunt, and Sonya puts out a lot of damage now with those Whirlwind buffs and the Wrath. The only issue with Sonya is if she goes in with a shield and the rest of the team gets gusted away and she gets silenced, she's dead. So she's going to have to be really careful about where she's engaging and not getting overzealous in what she's doing, because she's not going to have that support following her up really if she does. So she's got to be careful of that. But I really like Territorial Pistons team comp, like super strong team comp. If they can keep Tychus alive and out, it's going to be really hard for Pleb Horse to get in and get kills with their current comp. But I'm guessing they're going to take a strong mage here.
And they go with the Greymane. Greymane Tyrael is a very good combo. I don't know.
Yeah,
he can probably shut down Lucio pretty well as long as he can get onto him. That go for the throat is probably gonna wreck some Lucio here. He seems to be really squishy. But
Lucio is squishy, I agree.
But the mobility he offers, he might just be able to skate around Greymane.
Yeah, I think the skate plus the knockback, the pushback that Lucio has on his Q is going to stop Greymane. And I don't think, I mean, just from the team comps, looking at team comps, Territorial Piston just has the stronger team comp right now. I really feel like what's going to happen is Greymane's going to try to dive in, Imperial's going to go in. They might sank and he might stay alive. The rest of the team's just going to get blown up around him. Like, we will see, though, because Malf silence can be really huge if he can land good silences. So, you want to announce blue team?
Sure. So, for the blue team, Pleb Horse, Calvary, we have Tanks playing Tyrael, David Carr playing Artanis, we have Bolster 13 on the Greymane, Cat Dog on Malfurion, and then Jeezer on the Falstad.
And on the red team, or orange team if you're colorblind like me, we have Dr. Dog on Lucio, we have Providence on Varian, Azek on Tassadar, Great Guru on Sonya, and Lockdog on Tychus.
It looks like Territorial Pissing is going to go straight for mid, try to take a team fight here. And we have Pleb Horse splitting already, sending Artanis down to that bot lane. And not really any esports action going on here.
No, definitely not. I think the better thing is either put Artanis or Tyrael top, so you have kill potential with Artanis in mid, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for that. So.
Yeah, I also am a little worried that Sonya's just gonna, and push Greymane all the way back, but Greymane is actually getting the better of her right now.
Yeah. Sonya's really got to try to close that gap in order to make sure Greymane doesn't get so much value. And we do see that Falstead with Q stack, so you will see him rotating back and forth between bot and mid to try to stack up that Q in the auto attack build, which I figured he was going to go, which is probably the best build for him to go in this kind of team comp.
Yeah, that auto attack can really do some damage when he gets Giant Killer against those two frontliners they have.
Completely agree. Greymane's really putting it on Sonya up top. But we have a disconnect here.
Yep, we got a Tyrael rotating up to top lane to help make sure that they gather that altar or shrine. Got a little skirmish going on bottom.
Okay, it looks like he's back now. Okay, they didn't do a pause. Normally in those cases they would pause the game, but I guess they were fine. They knew he was coming right back in. We got to swap down bottom into a 3-man team. Not the best idea. Just your usual rotations back and forth. Greymane is getting a lot of value top, which I wasn't expecting, so good on Greymane for proving me wrong.
And the teams seem to be pretty even here, just dancing back and forth across this bottom shrine.
Yeah, and Lucio Lucio puts out almost no damage at this early stage in the game. So if you're having two people top, they're not going to get any value down here bottom on Territorial Piston side.
Yeah, they did rotate Tassadar up with the Sonya top to try to push this Greymane off. And Greymane is actually almost taking this 2v1, but it looks like
yeah.
he may
Got a
fall
little
with that
overzealous.
stun.
Yeah, he might have forgot about Tacitar's E there, temporal shift to save Tacitar. I think he was trying to bait Greymane out there, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, that pull timing on Sonya, though, to interrupt him mid dash flight.
You see, yeah, if you look at Territorial's build, he's actually going more. He's going a smite build, which I haven't seen in a long time. That smite does more damage to heroes, so he's going a more DPS build. While Artanis is going a more tank build, which you would expect kind of the opposite. So this is kind of interesting. It'll be cool to see.
And we have Pleb Horse getting both of the shrines for the time being. Greymane trying to channel that. And Falstad flying in to help him. Maybe they're going to be able to clean up this Varian. He is going to go down.
Yeah, Artanis down here is probably going to pay for his life to give him that dragon, but I think it might be worth it. Oh no, nice shift by David Carr, and he looks like he's out.
Oh,
no,
that Tacitar getting that final hit there. That Psy Storm.
That was nice.
But this dragon is mid, just uncontested, taking down that wall.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of value from it early on, and they're still soaking both other lanes. So, they gave up bot, which I think is a mistake to not have someone down there soaking.
I agree with that. The best, especially with this early dragon, you don't expect to get much value. Just sending him on his own to try to take down a wall is probably the better bet. And they have evacuated mid after the dragon rotated bottom.
Yeah, and if you notice, this is kind of a weird move by Territorial pissing. I know Tychus was but he fully backed. Tychus's main damage on that dragon comes from that D. He probably could have finished it off without any mana, but. Looks like pretty normal builds off everybody else.
I am surprised to see overpower on Varian, though. It doesn't seem like there's that many auto attacks coming out of Pleb Horse to warrant that. I wouldn't expect him to get focus as much. I guess if you're going taunt, though, that does force them to auto attack you.
The one cool thing about overpower is if Artanis, if you can time his W's right, it'll just bounce off both of his W's and it resets your overpower. So that might be what he's trying to do, is just trying to get that Artanis when he's doing his his twin blades on him. We'll see if that's what happens. We see a camp rotation out of here, out of Pleb. Which with the other camp pushing, that might be a good time to do it. But I think Territorial Piston's going to suspect something's up here shortly. It's a good rotation by Pleb to get that camp and just keep pressure on. They are now half a level ahead, so they got their ultimates here. So we see two things I would, yeah, are you looking at the ults too?
Judgment coming out of Territorial. That is not what I would have expected. Especially with that Greymane.
We see, I can see what they're going for. So we have Judgment with Hinterland Blast. And I'm guessing Greymane.
Yeah, they did add the extra ability onto Hinterland's Blast to reduce the cooldown of it per hero hit.
Yes, per hero hit. 25 seconds per hero hit. So
and we also got Tranquility coming out of Malfurion. Also not something I would have expected to see, especially with this.
Oh, engage down here, bottom. We had a nice taunt and dive, taking out Falstad, and then Artanis dropped. Really good rotation by Territorial Piston there to get that, gets that Malf out of, or gets a Falstad out, and then jump on the Artanis afterward. We see Sonya go leap, which I figured would be maybe what her thought would be in this case. When they dive in, you leap on top of them to stun them out of their combo. We'll see if that's what she's trying to do with this.
Yeah, especially once Greymane jumps in, she can leap and just shut him down, and then there's nothing that he can do. And that's where most of their damage, finishing damage, should come from this game.
Yeah,
So as long as she can time that right, that could be huge.
completely agree. Oh, another big fight mid. They catch Greymane out.
Ooh.
Like, ugh. Varian's ability to just isolate people, the taunt and the stun is just so good. It's picking people off. If they don't be careful, it's just going to keep happening this game. Just really good rotations out of Territorial Piston to keep this advantage, this slight advantage they've now gotten, and keep it up.
Yeah, they have been doing a very good job of soaking every lane at all times, where Pleb Horse has been rotating around but missing some soak here and there, pulling people out of lanes to try to get the man advantage.
Yeah, a lot of, if you do look, the structure advantage is still pretty even because of that early on dragon, even though they have a keep. Oh, we got an engage here, top coming.
Drill coming down, forcing Greymane and Territorial back. Looks like they might be able to take down this wall and secure a dragon. We got Sonya channeling it right now.
The minions are preventing her.
Oh, that Hinterland's blast flank.
Yeah, they may get dragon, but they are gonna pay for it.
Yeah, they stayed a bit too long in that top lane. Didn't see that Falstead coming.
Yeah. And if they're wise here with the dragon, they have a whole minute on this dragon. Just wait 20 seconds, your team's back up, and wait till they come in to engage. Really good. And now we see this advantage, this split pushing by Pleb Horse that they needed to be doing earlier. Still soaking that top lane, waiting for the dragon to come. Really good swap on Artanis there. It's probably saved his life.
And it looks like Greymane and Territorial are going to be able to take down that top fort.
And this dragon is getting no value now.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of them just walking around there, hitting heroes every so often. Malf has just been able to keep them all up and really didn't get any structure value out of that.
Yeah, and now its timer's almost gone.
And only 2% health.
That dragon effectively got nothing. Really good job by Pleb to just isolate them.
But the lockdown on Artanis is crazy, and they're able to secure that kill.
Yep, again, taunt, stun into taunt, just really strong with all that combo build up.
Yeah, especially with that follow-up leap to prevent him from escaping after that. And the roots on Varian are good. But the heals from Lucio are just too much, and Greymane Falls was not able to power through that.
Yeah, the heals plus the shield with plus his parry, you're gonna have a hard time focusing down Varian. Sonya will be a much better target if they start using that more wisely.
Wow.
Wow.
You
Do
can see that Hinterland's blast cooldown just dropped to 15 seconds.
Yeah. Free ults. If he can keep landing those, that's Jeezer can keep landing those 5-man Hinterland blasts. You can just use it like a Q. Just throw it out whenever it's up.
And we got the teams just backing and taking their respective camps. I like this call.
Yeah. And just to reiterate, yes, the colors are switched on the cast. We thought they were going to be the other teams. So Territorial Piston is red and Pleb is blue. Ooh, good engage here. And Greymane will fall.
Not quite the Hinterland's blast value that he got in the last fight.
Yeah,
they're able to steal that camp and push him off it.
And this is what we were worried about for Pleb Horse, is their ability to kill things with the damage they have. They're relying on that Greymane, and if Greymane's gone, it's just not going to happen for him.
Yeah, especially with those shields to help keep the people being targeted up, and then Lucio's heals to AoE everyone else. It's just too much heals for them to burn through.
Yeah, and Sonya now has imposing presence, so you can't target anyone in their front line as Falstead and get any value. Tassar has temporal shift. The only people you can target is Lucio and Tychus, and you're never going to be able to get to him. So it's going to be a really hard struggle, I think. And we don't have Gus, so we're not going to see any aggressive flyover Gus going on. So it's going to have to be just, they're going to have to get a good swap on one of the squishies and hope to kill him.
And we also got the banner of Iron Forge coming out from Varian that helps reduce that damage by an additional 25%. Got a huge fight coming down here. Ooh, Tassadar does go down. This is... Oh, that Varian charge onto Greymane as he was rolling out was huge. Yeah. Able to lock him down there.
The power of Sound Barrier, like that shield from Sound Barrier did not even get eaten through. Once Lucio popped the Sound Barrier, it just kept everyone up.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be a pretty even trade there until that Greymane stun, and then Artanis wasn't able to get out. And now Territorial Pissing is able to pick up this Dragonite. Level 18 Dragonite with 3 people down on the other team, they should be able to get the keep here.
Yeah, I completely agree. This should close or get at least a keep out of it if they play it correctly.
But they are not able to do so, having 2 members back.
I wonder if that was a little miscommunication. I know they were trying to stop that bottom push, but I think getting that keep was more valuable than saving your wall on bottom.
Yeah, I would have had Tychus stay up with the push and the Dragonite to try to secure that keep, and then have Tassadar go and defend bottom once he came alive again.
Completely agree. Now they're going to try to do a push, and they have about 8 seconds left on the dragon. So they play a little more passive approach, but they're closing on 20, so maybe they're taking the safer approach and just trying to lock up 20 and then do another team fight and engage for themselves. Trying to see, most of the towns look pretty, nothing crazy. You see 20 picked up for Territorial.
Yeah, I would actually like to see Pleb Horse back out of this and try to soak their way up to 20. Taking this engagement is really risky.
Yep, it is, and they're going in. They are all in.
And there goes that Sound Barrier, just absorbing so much damage. But Lucio does fall.
Yeah, but at what cost?
Their Territorial Pissing is just able to clean it all up. That drill has not died in any of the engagements that I have seen so far. It's just able to put out so much damage and being ignored.
Yeah, and I think Pleb Horse had the right idea, fully engaging on Lucio, trying to kill him. They weren't able to secure that instant kill, so he pops Sound Barrier, and then you get wiped for that Lucio kill you paid for, and you're taking the engage a little too early, right, when you're at 18 and they're 20.
I really think the Malfurion Twilight Dream would have been the difference in this game. Being able to pop that and silence Lucio before that shield's able to go off could completely turn the fight.
Great. We'll see if they try to push their advantage here, or if they'll back out. I think
I like the play. Yeah, I like the back out call because everyone is coming up for Pleb Horse right now. I would back up and take some camps.
Yeah, they still have the 20 advantage.
Or split and get this Dragonite. But we do have Falstead flying top. I guess he's just going to try to clean up that wave.
Yeah, and Falstead has finished his Season Marksman quest. It looks like every quest but Tassadar's Globe quest has finished. We'll see if they try to end with this dragon, or if they'll just try to take another keep.
I would like to see them pressure and try to get a kill, and then just go core. And it looks like they are going to be able to on Falstead there.
Yep.
And we have the Dragonite just going straight, clicking on core.
Just not enough damage put out by Pleb Horse.
No, this Sonya with a Tassadar shield is just unkillable in there with his Whirlwind build.
Sound barrier. And looks like we have ourselves a game. So I think a big part of that was just the difference in team comp, having that, trying to rely on a gray main for your damage against double healers is just not going to work out for you. And I think that's what happened in Pleb Force. They had some early engages really good, some good rotations in their camp, and they were able to get some picks here and there. But just overall, I think their team comp like hurt them. Gray main's, he did the most damage with those killers. He got the most kills, but just not having a constant sustained damage from somebody that could poke at him, or a mage that could blow somebody up, was a big issue, I think.
Yeah, I would have liked to see either a Jaina or maybe a Lei Ming there. Even a KT would have worked with the Varian and Sonya being able to spread those bombs. But yeah, I completely agree. I was very impressed with Greymane soloing top in the beginning of that game, though. Being able to outduel that Sonya was not expected.
Yeah, I completely agree. That I think the Greymane definitely proved me wrong in the Greymane pick early on, but I think overall in the team fight at the very end, and it just hurt them to have that, taunt, Varian hit him, Greymane's damage is gone. And I think that's a big chunk of what happened. And good on Territorial Pissing for taking the Varian so they don't have Shield Breaker against your Tassadar Lucio. It's pretty insight. Instead of banning him, just take him. They won't even get the chance to Shield Breaker against you.
Yeah, Shield Breaker against that Sound Barrier would be very, very good. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I think it does like 5,000 or 6,000 damage to shields. It's a lot of damage. So it would just shred it instantly.
Yep. All right. Well, that's our one game for today. Thank you all for watching. Great games by both teams. And Territorial Pissing was able to pull it out.
Thanks for letting us look at some new heroes, or Lucio, and some new talents on some of the other heroes. So good on you, Territorial Pissing, and good job, Pleb, for doing, trying to get this comp out. Just maybe next time, try to think about the damage and where you're going to get it coming from, so you're not falling into the trap, that Varian trap that happened with Greymane.
Yep, and feel free to give us a follow here. And if anybody is looking to have any Chair League games or any games cast in the future, just let us know. All right, thank you all, and good night.